Hey, Bass Geek here. I took a brand new Japanese bait out fishing today, and this is what I learned. That's right, geeks. So we took a new Japanese bait out on one of my favorite lakes. We're out on Soho, and I put it to use. Now, we rigged it a few different ways, but this one way was how we really got bit. And there's a little bit of a cold front come through today, high sun, the water level has raised, so I thought this would be a great time to go test this bait. And it was. And I'm going to give a big shout out. I don't know if he even wants me telling this, but to my buddy Thomas at Fishing the DMV. Listen, he done very well with a, we'll just call it a hairy bait of some sort in a tournament not too long ago. So he's kind of the one that convinced me to get out here and try this. But I did a little bit of research, and I'm going to show you the two ways that I didn't get bit and the one way that we did very well on what I consider a tough day. So what Japanese bait are we talking about? What is the COIKE? If you haven't seen it already, it's this little bait right here. So now we've got hairy dice, we've got hairy worms, and we've got hairy balls. So that's pretty much what this is. Now this is made out of the, stretchy material. That is a solid core. And I'm just going to tell you, I don't know what the colors are. This is called the COIKE. I hope I'm saying that right. C-O-I-K-E. And I heard some other people say that. My redneck might get in the way, but we're going to say COIKE from Hideup Tackle. Now, these things are not cheap, but they do last a while. I've seen a lot of people rig them a lot of different ways. Most of the videos that I've seen are from Japan, and they're rigging it with this Japanese hook that's got a weight built into it. There is a way to do that. Now, I did try to fish this today on a drop shot, and I didn't have any success doing that. This has got a little bit of pink to it. It's translucent. I think it's a good smallmouth color. So, my opinion on this has always been these baits probably catch some fish, if you're in a place like Gunnersville where, come on, man, it's a great fishery, and I don't know if that lake proves anything. I mean, you can probably catch bass on lettuce down there. Now, on these fisheries, it's a little bit different. To come out here at a tough time and try and fish this, it's been interesting. And probably I would have never even tried these yet, again, if it hadn't been for Fishing the DMV, Thomas. You guys make sure you check his podcast out, because he's done quite well, and he's probably going to punch me in the mouth for giving this away right now on some hairy lures. But this is the other color that I have. These are the only two that I have, and I'm just going to call this green pumpkin black flake, and this is the one that we were using today. Now, they make these are the small ones. They make them, and I'll show you the two ways that I've been rigging them. One was a drop shot. I'm not going to show you that. You know what a drop shot is. The other is with an EWG Ned, and I like the EWG because that is a lot and it's pretty stiff. And so what you do, you just barely have to hook it, really. Just pretty much skin hook it and come out. What I like about this is it does float, so it'll stand up off the bottom a little bit. Now, we didn't catch anything doing this. I'm going to show you. And this was what I've seen a lot of people doing online, this type of rig. And basically, most guys are using like a circle hook. And unfortunately, I didn't bring my bigger circle hooks with me today. I probably wouldn't use it a weedless one. So I'm just going to use a straight shank Nico hook right now. And what I'm doing is I'm tying just, my favorite knot on here. Quick and easy. The pitsine knot. Just gonna wrap that about 5-6 times. Come through the top. You can do a double pitsine. You can do a San Diego. Moisten just a touch, pull it down. Notice I haven't put any weight on this yet. And the reason why is because I'm going to use these. These are the Fast Cinch from Angler Tungsten. Now, I don't know if he's still making these. I'll put links in there, or I'll put links into somebody else. Either way it goes, you need to make sure you go check out Angler Tungsten. It is premium, good tungsten. And it does matter. And so basically it's kind of like a Jenka rig. So all you're doing is you're taking this fast clinch, popping it in. There you've got your knot. There you've got your weight. Now, to rig the bait, all we were doing is when you get them, there's a couple of holes that go straight through it. So what I'm doing is I'm just taking that hole and I'm just coming down into it and just right back. And I'm telling you, this stuff is tough. Right back out. Just like that. And I'm just fishing it on the bottom. It'll float up a little bit and you just drag it, hop it. Really, the least amount of action you put into it, the better. Now this is a 3/8 ounce weight. Really, the smallest amount of weight, the better. I could probably get away with a quarter on this. So this is the Cashin Core rod. Guys, I know a lot of you have the question about these grips. I'm going to tell you a little bit about the grips. When they get wet, they are hard, so they're not cushioned like foam or cork. And there's a reason behind that. You want to transmit as much to your hand as possible. They're not uncomfortable, they're not sticky, but they have great grip. Like I'm barely holding on. It's one of those things, get somewhere or a buddy, try them out. You're not going to be disappointed. Not to mention, this is made 100% blank and all in the USA. Again, this is their Core series, so it's a really great setup. It is a core group of rods, hence the name. Now, this rod that we've been fishing with today is the 7-foot medium fast action. I'm telling you, these are incredible rods. The feel on them, they're worth every penny. And again, a company that is 100% made in the USA. Now I've got this paired with a 7 reel. This is a new reel that I've been trying out. This is the GS series from 7. And so far I like it. It's maybe a little tight feeling, but overall a pretty good reel. Really durable, really well built. Because I'm rough on my stuff, no doubt. And as far as line, as always, we've got Canine High Vis Pink on here. And the reason why I do High Vis Pink, guys, is because when we get into about April, this water starts clearing up, starts turning real green, and then the pollen starts to fall. So what color is pollen? It's yellow. So you can see better when you're using these to catch those smallmouth on the bed. You can see that pink a little bit better. I'm telling you, try it out. Real men wear pink, just remember that. We are using 8 to 10 pound test. This is 8-pound test on here right now. So we're using Pro 100 Canine fluorocarbon. 100% fluorocarbon, it is the Pro 100. And I do have a 10% off code. I'm telling you, go try it. They're braid and they're fluorocarbon, best braid on the market. I can't tell you that enough, especially for casting a spinning reel. So how do you fish this? Again, I'm going to 45 some steep banks like this here behind me. I'm going to figure out what depth level the bass are in if I don't have forward-facing sonar. And like I said earlier, don't move the bait. It is a slow-moving bait. It's almost like fishing a shaky head without all the shaking. You're just maybe going to hop it and let it fall to get a reaction bite if the bass are active. And you're just going to let it sit there and let those tentacles do their thing. Maybe drag it a little bit. What I do to try and figure it out is I'll do a hop, sit, drag, sit, hop, sit, drag, sit. And I'll change up how long it sits there, but that's sort of the cadence that I've been using today, and that's how I got bit today. As far as hook set, again, it is spinning rod, so I'm going to be straight up to 45. And then I'm going to reel down. I'm going to play that fish out. I'm going to reach down and get him on my thumb. Or if I got a buddy in the boat and it's a big one, we're going to put him in the net. And I mean, you can boat hop them if they're a little bit smaller, you know. I tend to be a boat hop everything, but oh well. So it really is that simple. Play out those bass. This thing actually does work. I'm really excited to put it to work as the bass start to come off of those shad and move to the banks to start making their bed. I think this bait is going to get destroyed that time of year. If you want to check out another hot new bait from Japan, make sure you go right here and watch this video. Otherwise, questions and comments in the comment section below. Like it if you like it. Don't forget to subscribe. Make sure you ring that bell so you get these notifications when these videos come out. Join that 100% Watch Squad. All you got to do is watch the videos when they do come out. That's why you ring that bell, and you geeks rock.